Hi, my name's Lindsey O'Grady from Aramar Solutions, and today we're going to give a quick tour of Planning Analytics, which is a financial planning and business intelligence tool. It has a web front end called Planning Analytics Workspace and an Excel front end called Planning Analytics for Excel. We'll be exploring both in this video. In the web, I'll show you an example of a dashboard and a board pack, and then I'll also show you an example of a P&L planning application and how you update the plan. In the Excel tool, I'll show you how to create a report and then publish it into the web, as well as using it for updating a plan. First off, let's look at the business intelligence side. Here we have an example of a dashboard summarising up the main headlines of the business. The great thing about it is that it's interactive, so I can drill down on the chart to look at the detail, as well as filter the dashboard for different companies and time periods. The data on here can be from completely different source systems or even spreadsheets. For example, most of the figures here are from the general ledger data, but this bottom left chart comes from invoicing data and it's based on sales quantity. And these filters at the top are common to both data sets, and therefore they filter all the data at once. These filters can be secured so that different people can only see and select the companies or data that's relevant to them. As well as basic charts, it also includes popular ones such as waterfall charts. I like the bullet chart because they are great at providing a high-level visual representation of how close you are to target. The green line is the target and the blue bar is how you are tracking against it. If the bar goes beyond the green line, then you're ahead. This is an example of a board pack. As you can see, it's good for combining commentary with the results. Good thing about putting your board pack in the web is that as soon as the new actuals or planning data is updated, the charts automatically reflect an updated positions. There's no need to recompile the pack again. All you need to do is update the commentary. It's not all about visualizations, of course. You still need a P&L, balance sheet and cash flow statement, and this one was created and formatted in the Excel add-in but rendered in the web. Commentary can even be stored in the database on a line-by-line basis. Here it's telling me that sales have increased due to 3 new stores in the UK. And if I filter for the UK, I can see more detail about those 3 stores. So here it's telling me that they're all in London. If I want to catch up on historic commentary, I can also do that by filtering for previous time periods. So that's the business intelligence side in the web. On to the planning side. I've got 3 planning applications here, one for P&L, one for balance sheet and one for cash flow. In my P&L plan, it's carved up into different sections, including gross margin, which is done by sales quantity and price, and I've got overheads and then other P&L lines such as depreciation, amortization, tax and interest. The sections can be customized to whatever is relevant to you. So you could have a salary planning module here where you adapt the assumptions on yearly pay increases, bonuses and new starters and leavers. And each of these sections can be secured for the audience who needs to see them. So here on the sales side of things, I populated my forecast for the current year, but my budget year needs populating. One of the methods is to use AI forecast. It uses statistical probability of historic data to automatically guess the pattern ahead. This blue shaded area is what it's predicting will happen. The dashed line is its best guess at where it will be, but it's 95% confident that it will be anywhere within the shaded area. If I'm happy with this forecast, I can use this to populate the cube. Some people are using this to validate some of their plans that are submitted and see if it falls within reasonable expectations. On to the overheads. So we're going to update the numbers. You can just overtype a cell, or you can put a formula into the cell and the result populates. I can also do undo to reverse that last change. And if I want to simulate a couple of different scenarios before submitting one, I can create what we call a sandbox. I'll create one called Scenario 1. And having created that, I can now pick it and do more than just update individual cells. For example, if I know IT costs by the end of the year will be 1 million, I can type that into the total, and then that increases all my future 9 months of forecast proportionally to what was there to add up to 1 million. There are other data spreading profiles, so let's take travel and entertainment. I'll pick the straight line method. So we'll start the year at 7,500 and increase it gradually to 75,000. But it could go one of two ways. So I'll create another scenario and do a different profile for that line. I'll base it off of scenario 1. So it looks just like scenario 1, but I will use the growth percentage method, which will start at 7,500, but increase 10% month on month. Now I'm going to compare scenario 1 and scenario 2 to look at the overall difference to total overheads. So overall, scenario 1 is 267,000 more. I could then pick whatever scenario I prefer and then commit. Of course, this is a really simple example of updating a plan, but there could be calculations that are as complex as whatever you need them to be. So you could have calculations for overheads allocation, applying a year-on-year growth percentage or inflationary increases, or you could even drive some of the lines such as salary and wages from a more complex salary planning model behind the scenes. So what's the Excel tool like? Well, much like the web, I can use this for reporting and also for planning input with just an Excel front end. Planning Analytics for Excel shows up as an add-in on the ribbon, and I can log in using the Connect button and the database appears. This financials cube contains my financial results, and I've got a suite of different reports here that I can push into Excel. The lines are drillable and so are the columns. So you can edit the design easily with drag and drop of the different dimensions in the cube. If you want to create a more polished report, you can select one of the other report types, such as custom reports. And after a bit of formatting, you can make it look however you like. So here's one I made earlier. And these numbers are directly connected to the database. So I just refresh and the new numbers come through. If I want to display this in the web format, then I can hit publish and then give it a name. And then if I go to the web front end, I can drag that onto a book. And that allows me to get a more customized web application design. So what about using Excel for planning? Well, here I can create a cube view similar to the overheads input screen that I was using earlier. And I can use the same data spreading techniques here and sandboxing that I showed you earlier. This is connected directly to the database, so as soon as I update a number, it's reflected in the web as well. Okay, so that's it from me. I hope that that's given you a good flavour for what planning analytics looks like and how it can be used as a business intelligence tool and a planning application.